you guys for tuning in. It's Dr. K with Freedom by Design Live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. As you come on, do us a favor. Go ahead and like and share for us. We want to make sure that we share the word with everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Lynn. Good morning, my love. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Patrice. Good morning. Good morning. So, guys, I'm excited this morning. I have a special guest, and I know that we are going to be blessed by our conversation. So, I don't want to belabor it. I want to jump right into it. I see that we have many that are tuning in. So good morning, good morning, good morning. We thank you for the love. When I see all those hearts just going and going up in there, it makes me feel so good. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you guys. So I know you're probably like, oh, Katrina, I love that hoodie. Don't worry, you'll be able to get yours. Just listen in because we're about to open up the floor. I see more people are coming in. So, guys, again, as I said, if you're new on this morning, my name is Dr. K. We come on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:30 a.m. And on Wednesdays, we have a special guest because it's Wisdom Wednesday. We want to be able to hear from others and see what they're doing in the world. So as you look over my shoulder, I know you see book release. This sister, her book has already been released. She's already doing the thing. But today she's going to share with us. So good morning, Diane. Good morning, Tisha. Good morning. Good morning, Christy from Pennsylvania. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to welcome my sister from another mister. I met her a little over a year and a half ago in a different capacity, but I've been watching this sister and she has been doing some phenomenal things and she has really allowed God to use her and she has a story to tell. So help me welcome my friend and my sister, Jamila Antoinette. Jamila, are you there?
I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It is Wednesday and we are ready to do the thing.
Listen, I am so excited. When you inboxed me on Facebook, I was like, oh my gosh, like it's such an honor. Like, just even the capacity where you and I first met. I just immediately I just loved your spirit. I loved you just like when I would see how we're like good morning, and it was just so good to see. So being able to have this conversation with you this morning, I'm just excited. I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you, love. And people ask me sometimes, they're like, why are you so hype in the morning? Well, I start my morning at 6 on the God Zone. So I see my brother, the co-founder, him and his wife of God Zone, drop that in the chat so we can definitely invite everybody on the God Zone. And Jamila, we're gonna get right into it because I want you and I are having this intimate conversation that our Freedom by Design movement and ministry, they get to listen and hear it. But kind of tell the people, just tell them a little bit about you.
So again, my name is Jamila Antoinette. I am a mother of two. I have two sons, 9 and 3, and they are my world. I tell people that my children literally saved my life. I work in the school system currently, but God is stretching me and growing me to start my own business. And so I've really just been trusting God and walking and releasing as He downloads to me. I'm a motivational speaker. I have a nonprofit organization called Another Chance Youth and Family Services that I believe that this year that God would just really allow me to just do more. I know due to COVID, a lot of things are kind of on standstill, but I believe that this is a time for me to really reconstruct and rebuild because everybody deserves another chance. And so I'm excited that when we get ready to present that to the world, that it will be really how God wants it to be. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You're already getting me excited. I'm over here like, okay, she already about to go in. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, PH, power of her, perseverance, her fight back. I know it's a whole situation. So let's just kind of let's start from the beginning. Like, where did this start? Like, let's walk me through it. What happened? What's going on?
Okay, so with the book, I actually started writing the book last year. The end of 2019. I started writing it and I just stopped. I'm like, God, I don't have the rest of the chapters. And so I just refused to write it. And so last year, 2020, God kept saying, complete the book. And I'm just like, I go back and forth with the Lord sometime. Like, we having a real life conversation. Like, really, my dude, really? You gonna do this to me? And so I just started writing. And then I couldn't really just complete the book. And so to November 2020, I lost one of my jobs, and it was devastating because of how it happened. It happened abruptly. And so I ended up having to, I came back home and I was like, God, what am I going to do? Like, this is a part of my income that I was relying on, that to me, I felt like it was an opportunity for God to open the door. But in reality, I took a job out of desperation. I didn't consult God with it. I didn't pray about it. I just did it because at the moment, my current circumstances was like, you need this money. And so November 4th, I tell people God released me. He would not allow me to, he wouldn't allow me to sit in that place. He wouldn't allow me to stay there. And so I had to finish the book. And so that's where perseverance came from. I literally had to fight from a place of being in a place of not enough to walking into my purpose. And I tell people that there is so much power when you just persevere in spite of the rain, in spite of the storm, in spite of your feelings. And so God would not allow me to have a pity party. I wanted to. I wanted to just like, this is not fair. Why is this happening to me? And God said, no, you are going to finish this book. And I also did a Facebook Live. He said, you're going to go live November 9th. I'm like, it's November 4th. You want me to go live in 5 days? Really, Lord? And he said, go live November the 9th. And since then, Dr. K, when I say like God has been moving, even I do these nightcaps on TikTok, and within a month, I went from 200 followers to now I'm at 12.3 thousand. And every day is growing. I've been able to build an online community, the inner circle that I love, like, really it's people who want more of God. I'm like, God, you really just blowing my mind. I'm like, me, you're going to use me to build. And I tell people that God does not look for perfect people. There's no such thing as perfect people in God's eyes. You just have to be willing for him to use you in your brokenness. And so that's where that came from. The power of her. It was just like I had to find my inner power to just persevere and fight back. I literally had to fight from a place of, I was in a dark place. Like, if you was to catch me in November and ask me to do this, I'm like, you know what? I would have to decline because I didn't think I was worthy enough. But now I know that I had to fight to get to this moment. And I tell people, like, every good thing that's coming to me, God promised it to me. So that's where perseverance, her fight back, came from.
I love it. I love it. You know what, Jamila, is so interesting because people will often ask, how long did it take you to write the book? Or when, because they want to know, can I write a book real fast? And I'm like, when God calls you to do something, you're going to do it in his time. So what man says as it relates to time frame has no bearing. It doesn't matter because he will make you do that thing like this. And sometimes he'll take you through a long period of time of writing. Because, just like you, I heard you say those magic words. He began to download. Like, I woke up one morning and I'm just on my phone typing chapters and things, when it came to the book. And I'm like, okay, Lord, and you want me to do, like, just like you want me to tell you want to expose me. I thought expose was about the people, but no. And now I'm hearing you say perseverance because I loved it. I thought it was super catchy. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking periodic chart, like this is super cute. I'm loving it. Then I'm seeing the 31. I'm like, Proverbs 31. Okay, here we go. I'm like, I'm feeling it. I'm vibing with it. But as it relates to the book, because I want individuals to be able to purchase your book, can you give us just a little synopsis of what is the book about?
So the book, I go back to a place where, 2016, I was pregnant and I experienced a miscarriage. It was my second one. And so even when that happened, I begged God, like, please do not do this to me again. I promise if you let me keep this baby, I'm gonna do right. But I lost my son and it was just devastating. I went through that in 2009. I was engaged to, at that time, an amazing young man, but we were just too young, and we ended up separating, and I was pregnant. And so I had this attitude was, well, you know what, I'm gonna take care of this baby with or without you, and I don't need you. And so I ended up losing my son in 2009, and it broke me. I was clinically diagnosed depression and anxiety. I was on medication, and it made me feel so loopy, out of myself, and I couldn't function. And so the book starts in 2016 when I went through that miscarriage and really just laying in the hospital bed and just asking God, why me? You're allowing all these women around me to have children. And I know, yes, Lord, I didn't I'm not married, and I know, I know the Bible, and I'm sorry for that. But God, I want my baby. And I remember my mom walking into the room, and she was just screaming. And I'm like, Mom, I can't do this. I can't do this. She came to the bed, and so she was hugging me. And so the book starts from there, and I just start to talk about, I go back to even 2009, and I take you on a journey of how even in my lowest of low places, I had to fight back. And it was a mind thing. I had to literally fight in my mind. Even I told myself, we're not going to be on this medication forever. Dr. K, I couldn't drive. I couldn't be around people. I was just so shut up in myself that I was numb. Yeah. And so I literally paint a picture of from me going from that hospital bed to even having my son Braxton. I was like, Lord, I can't do this again. And the shame and the guilt. But even when God told me this child is promised, and he allowed me to carry that child, even through what I went through then. But I share pieces of those places where no matter what you go through and no matter what you have to face, if you face it with God, and that's the thing, I was thinking I could do it all on my own. I don't need nobody. You have to make up your mind that through all things, the Bible says you could do all things, but you got to do it with him. Amen. And so I had to make up in my mind that, you know what, in my weakest moments, God, I'm going to stand with you. I'm going to stay with you always, because I know that that's where my strength comes from. So I share some tidbits. I share some tips. I'm a big journaler. I share some journaling points, even ask questions, because a lot of stuff was like you have to really talk to yourself. Amen. You have to speak life. I tell people, before you can speak life into people, you got to know how to speak life into you. And so the last 3 years, I've been on a journey where I've been speaking life back into Jamila, because I've allowed people to speak word curses to me that I wasn't worthy, that I wasn't beautiful, nobody was going to love me. And so like I told my the clubhouse I was on last night, it took people to use words to tear you down. It's going to take words to build you back up. When God said, let there be light, light showed up. It didn't wait. It wasn't a couple of weeks. It came immediately. Amen. So you have to daily speak life back into yourself every single day, even when you don't feel like it. Mm-hmm. Even when you're like, you know what, today's not a good day, you still have to find. So that's where that came from.
Absolutely. I totally understand. You know what, Jamila, as I'm sitting here and I can see the feed, and there are so many women that are resonating with your story. Like, I feel your pain, and I see, but God, so many of them saying, well, I'm resting in him. And that's the importance of us being able to, as sisters and brothers, share our different platforms so that other people's messages can be heard. It's not ours. God has entrusted you with something. He's entrusted me with something. And now it's time for us to share it, because there's somebody out there on this live right now that needs to read your book. There's somebody that needed to hear those words this morning. There's somebody who is, like you say, it started 2009. There's somebody in 2021 that's going through what you've gone through. And I know for myself, as I went through my own journey, and I'm still going, it's a ever going journey until God calls us home. There were times just like you, and I'm like, what's going on? Why me? Like, you start having those rationalizing conversations with God. Like, listen, if you just give me this thing, I promise you I'm gonna do right. Even in our mess, sometimes we're like trying to barter with him. I kind of say it, but he is so awesome. His grace and his mercy is so good. Even when we don't deserve it, he still extends it to us and says, you know what? I have a bigger plan. And sometimes he has to sit us down and let us be with nobody, remove everything and everybody. And that's why I tell people, we got to be careful who and what we're making gods. Who and what we're making gods. And some people say, well, oh, I don't have no little statue on my desk that I'm over here praising. It's just not a little statue. It could be money. It can be relationships. It can be jobs. It can be hobbies. It can be habits. He is not going to allow us to put other things before him. We serve a jealous God, and he does want us to have exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think. But like you said before, according to that power, it's him. He puts the power in us. He's going to do it. We're not going to be able to do it by ourselves. So sometimes he has to shut everything off for us to get to a place and space where we're focusing on him. And just like you said, he gives us this for a reason. Those words, they're here. These are the words we can go ahead and we can pull and rely on it, that we can pull right back, and we'll be able to speak those words over our life. I think that was when you said that, it hit home for me, because I'm a big affirmation person. I'm a big journaler. You know, I write down and I make sure that I capture my thoughts, because I'm like, you know, it's so many things going on, but I have to say it. Lord, I thank you for having a family that's healthy, and I thank you for having a healthy marriage, and I thank you for my son. You know, I start calling them things out the way that I want them to be, even if they are not, because I realize what you just said, we got to speak life into ourselves.
Have to. It's a must. And that's one thing that God is even and I could just give you all a sneak peek that God has really now released me to help others unlock the narrative of their story. I tell people, I use an example, right? When we hear the story Snow White, we never heard the story from her point of view. We just heard it from the point of view of the narrator. And so I am building to a program to where I help other women, other men unlock the narrative of your story, because nobody can tell your truth like you can. You know, we hear the gossip and the he say, she say, and they're going to put a twist on it. But see, I posted the other day that gossip hit different when the truth come out.
Come on now.
When the truth come out. So, and I tell people, embrace your truth. You know, I'm not perfect. And I know that if the Lord didn't know some stuff that I've already done, Dr. K, I wouldn't even tell him. But even me, you know, I tell people, God can use anybody. Yes. Moses had a speech impediment. He like, Lord, I can't go and speak to these people. I stutter. And God said, you're going to do what I told you to do. And so I'm building to where I can help others, especially women. I want women to understand there is so much power within you. God has given us the power to multiply and to produce and to show up. But the first person you have to be able to show up for is yourself. I am nothing to my son, to my family, to my coworkers, to my friends. I am nothing to them if I don't first show up for me. Amen. And so that's where that power of her coming. I had to find, you know, I was in a relationship where the young man would just tell me I was this and ain't nobody gonna love you and you this and you stupid. And I was soaking that stuff in, trying to figure out how can I fix myself so that he could just see me for what I'm worth. And God said, you are fearfully and wonderfully made in my image. So we try to fix ourselves to please people, but the Jamila that you're gonna get now, I'm trying to please God. So if you're not on one accord with him, you'll never understand who I am, because I am in him and he is in me. So I've stopped trying to fix myself for people. God, I want to live and please you. Because when you live and please God, he's going to send people in your corner that are going to see the God in you, and they're going to love you for who you are.
Girl, truer words never spoken. Truer words never spoken. Oh, it's something about self-reflection, self-actualization, and being able to work on self. And for so many of us, you know, Jamila, when I think about like, why do we do it? And for many of us, it started from when we were little, because we were trying to please other people. You know, if people like you then, and we grew up with that mindset. And sometimes, like you say, people have spoke into us, you need to do this, and you need to make sure people like you, or this, that, and the third. But when you get into that place and space that you realize the relationship, the alignment that you need is you and God, and everything else will fall into place. People who thought they didn't like you will start blessing you, and they won't even understand and know why. People who are over there hating on you will start opening up doors for you. They'll be looking at themselves trying to figure out, well, why am I helping her? And the words that they thought they were going to use to come against you are the words that's going to actually lay down the mat so you can just walk right on it. It almost be, I can see it, Jamila, like Coming to America, girl. All the words that they're speaking, it'll be them little flat, them rose petals. It'll just be dropping. Yes. You just walking into it, because God said, you know what? You don't have to worry about anything, and you can't fix nobody else but you. If you get this right here together, baby, we will be fine, and it's going to work itself out. Well, I see we're almost at the top of the hour. Jamila, where can they get your book? Where can they get your gear? Because you also have on a shirt that I really love. It says God's favorite. God's favorite.
Oh. So this shirt came about, I was always tell people, oh, I'm God's favorite, you know, just joking around. But when God, he highlighted the word favor. So I'm not just God's favorite, I walk in God's favor. And so when I wear this, a reminder that I'm not just God's favor. I'm not just an apple of his eye. I walk in his favor. And I expect daily for God to just move in a mighty great way. So currently, so what I'm going to do, Dr. Ken, I think one of my assistant is on here. I'm going to have her drop the link or her email address. And if you all email me, I can send you all the link because our website is under construction. We are doing a complete relaunch in March, and I'm so excited about what's to come. So if you're interested in the book or even ordering the shirt, you can email admin, ADMIN, at JamilaAntoinette.com. And then we will send you an invoice and get it out to you. The book is it's an ebook, so it's a media download. And if you'd like to order a hoodie and shirt, then we will send you the invoice for that. And we're actually mailing out this week, so you can go ahead and get your order in real quick, and you'll be able to make it before the relaunch. Because right now the website is down, is being rebuilt, and so I'm excited about what God is doing and how He's growing and stretching in this season.
And I see the comment. I see it, admin at JamilaAntoinette.com. So guys, let's support our sister. Let's go ahead. We want to make sure you see the information right there. And Jamila, I'm just going to ask that later today, if you would, if you or your admin would post and tag me that information so they can see it, on a larger font. So if people want to order or get the book or any of your gear, because you know what, I'm so grateful. I'm sitting here, and I know you probably didn't think I would, but I got your that you put in my package when I got my hoodie. And guys, she is so sweet, and I'll ever keep it. It says, Dr. Flukas, thank you so much for your support. You are truly an inspiration to me. Enjoy the extra gift on me. So I will definitely enjoy the extra gift. I'm going to go ahead and get my download because I need to go ahead and read the book. I know my sister and some others that are on here. I see we have quite a few people on here. So they're liking and sharing, like and share, because we want my sister to be successful. We want her to have everything that God has promised. So if you feel it right here in your little heart, and you're like, oh, I feel it, share right now, because there's somebody else that needs to hear Jamila's story. There's somebody else that needs to know that just because it looks a certain way right now, it doesn't mean that it's going to stay that way. There is hope. We will persevere. So it is going to work out the way God wants it to work out. So don't worry about that. So Jamila, we look forward to the relaunch of your website in March, and perhaps you'll come back on as your website is going to, when it gets ready to relaunch, so we can let everybody know, and we can just talk about what's going on with you at that point in time. So yes. I love you, my sister.
I love you too. Thank you so much. Oh, this was so fun. Thank you.
Indeed. We got more things to come, so don't worry. We're going to be doing some other events, and we'll definitely be pulling you right in. So yes, Kendra, the sky is the limit. This thing is about to go, what, as they say, viral. So we need to talk about the Clubhouse too. I'm on it. I'm trying to figure it out, but I need to.
Yeah, we need Freedom by Design in the Clubhouse.
Yes. I need to get in a little bit more. So absolutely, guys, I hope you have a fantastic Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you again for listening in as me and my sister have some just very intimate conversation. And next time we're going to go a little bit deeper. Y'all get ready for it. We love you. Have a fantastic day, because you can. Remember, don't worry about what other people are saying. It's about you and God. Speak those affirmations into your life. It is going to be okay. Rest in His word and His promises. I love you, Jamila. Have a great day.
You too. Love you too. Thank you.